We said 2 months ago that Cleetus McFarland, the YouTube superstar, his real name's Garrett Mitchell. We said there's way more to this guy. He's smart. He builds his own helicopter. He fixes it up. He flies up to the mountains. He rescues people. He's a character, but he's the real deal. You know what I mean? What I mean, he's a character, but he's super smart. And I'm going to let Charlie read the article, but it looks to me like this is the way Dodge is going to get back in the sport. So, Charlie, you want to take it over from here?
Sure. So this is Adam Stern, who covers motorsports for the Sports Business Journal. The headline of the article is YouTube star Cleetus McFarland could drive for prospective Ram NASCAR Truck Series team. And I'll just read the first sentence here. It says, YouTube star and ARCA driver Cleetus McFarland could get involved with the prospective new NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series team from Stellantis, their Ram brand, should the automaker complete talks to enter the sport, according to Ford people familiar with the matter and a document seen by the Sports Business Journal. So they're in talks.
First thing I'd say is everybody, remember Dodge left the sport, so they'd re-enter the sport. What do you think, Kenny?
More power to him if he can pull it off. He's got, 3 ARCA starts?
Yeah.
3 ARCA starts. But you know what? More power to him. It's great. And, I'm sure Biff will be there somewhere. It looks like he's, they've become whatever kind of relationship, friendship they have. And Greg can definitely steer him in the right direction. If he can put some kind of a factory program together. Now, that won't, I'd hardly believe that would be Dodge's only truck. You know, surely there'd be a couple more teams out there. But if Cleetus can do that, that's just a plus for everybody.
I'm sitting here thinking right now that when Cleetus came to Daytona for the ARCA racing, it seemed like it caught NASCAR off guard. And Cleetus, he didn't know all the rules real good. And Cleetus just tapes a camera on the inside of his ARCA car, and NASCAR finds out about it, and they fine him. And now they're saying, Cleetus, will you please we'll give you a camera.
Yeah. No, it's just it'd be good for everybody.
Yeah. And so there you go, everybody. For some of you purists that say, where's Dodge at? Well, they left. And I also want to say this. That tells you NASCAR's on the right trajectory because, obviously the story's true because Adam Stern does not report falsehood. He's had to see. They've seen documentation. They're reading. Oh, they've seen it. So if Dodge wants back in the sport, something good must be happening there. And with all this TV contract, and Charlie, you said it was like $7 to $8 billion. I think we're good for the next 6 years. So that's a feel-good story. What else, Charlie? Anything else there? What's your take on Cleetus? You manage the Kenny Wallace YouTube show. That YouTube's strong, ain't it?
Oh yeah, and I did a live stream earlier today as we record on Monday. So I just looked it up. Cleetus has 4.4 million YouTube subscribers. NASCAR itself has 1.5 million. So again, I'm not saying Cleetus is bigger than NASCAR because NASCAR is a $1 billion industry, but on YouTube and from a media standpoint, when you're talking about whether it's Facebook, he's big on TikTok, he's huge on YouTube. I mean, this dude is a superstar. He's a sensation. And that article, they kind of called him the Jake Paul of racing. Now, to me, Jake Paul's a jerk and Cleetus isn't, but I don't think that's what they meant. They meant more of like, here's a dude, Jake Paul, what he did to boxing. You could make the case that Jake Paul is the biggest boxer, and he's not even really a boxer. And I think that's the comparison, that Cleetus could be the most famous NASCAR driver who's not really a cup guy, right? He's just a guy who loves racing, but he's that popular.
People love him.